Hi, welcome back to Lovin Sheila Shorts. I want to thank you, first of all, for laboring with me through 11. I love the content. Somehow the production, the video wasn't very clear, and I hope we get that taken care of this time. So thank you for laboring with me. Again, I want to ask you to like, subscribe, comment, and share because it helps me. I want to get into this. This has been a bit of a trying week. Uh, I mentioned to you that I am really trying to venture out a little bit and trying to get out of my comfort zone. And after I feel like I've done some work on me and tried to do some healing with me, and now I'm trying to relate to other people and trying to really apply the things that I've learned to, all my relationships. And, as always, it comes right back to me and the different areas where I still need to work on. And so it has been trying because I've been trying to work through a lot of different things and gather understanding and understand me a little better. And, that's why I talked to you a little bit about vulnerability. And that's why it was so important for me to get that message out to you, because I mentioned that there are levels to vulnerability. And, and I'm working through that. And so now we have to take what we learned at one level to the next level and apply it. And it's taxing, it's challenging. Sometimes we go kicking and screaming. We don't want to be exposed in those ways. And yeah, so it's definitely a challenging situation, so we're trying to work through that. And I've been reviewing and studying a message that I had years ago about the power of the mind, and really just trying to manifest the things that I want in my life, the way I want things to be in my life, and not in dealing with me, who I am, knowing that I have my tendencies to, you know, glamorize or fairy tale eyes life. Just really trying to look at life as it is and manifest things in reality and not necessarily the way I want it to be in my mind. So just really looking at the power of the mind and really realizing how I have to think it and believe it, before it may actually manifest. And not in a way of fantasizing it, but just to really visualize and see what this looks like, and what is the outcome, and how will it look when I arrive. So working at taking a breather, trying to understand that, and also applying the core characteristics of me into, to intermingle that to make sure that it's working for me. And just like we have to make sure this works for us. So we have to, first of all, of course, know who we are, and then work within those parameters to get to the next level. And I often talk about difficult conversations. And I often talk about difficult conversations with ourselves. And those are some of the difficult conversations that I have to have with myself, trying to really recognize things for what they are and not what I want them to be in my glamorized life, and fantasized life. And so really looking at me and all the folks who I'm in dealing with, and just seeing us all for who we truly are, because it's better than trying to make someone what you want them to be, or see them how you want them to be, or look at a relationship how you expect it or fantasize it to be. Just let's just deal with our reality. And so that's something that I'm continuing to work on, and I'm continuing to try and figure out how to manifest. And I often talk about, I often talk about living my life. And there's this term, living your best life, and I really try and stay away from that. But at the end of the day, we really are trying to live our best life and live in the best version of ourselves, and working out the things that we need to work out internally to get to that point. And so that's what I'm doing. And that's why I mentioned difficult conversations. So having the difficult conversations with myself, to be real, to be practical about what I can deliver, what are my personal deliverables, as well as what I can, or what I should expect as far as standards. So these are the things that I'm working through, and obviously compromise is always something that we always consider, because I feel like um, in all parts of our life, being rigid is definitely not the best way to be. So I'm just trying not to be rigid, trying to be pliable, trying to learn, I'm trying to adjust, I'm trying to recognize and be accountable for my own behaviors, because that's where it starts, being accountable for yourself. And so in that, I just took some time and I reviewed some things in my studies and my courses. I was reviewing emotional tone, and basically, in emotional tone, we're wanting to make sure when someone's talking to me, I'm very astute at listening to how they sound, because like I said, I'm hypersensitive due to trauma. So how you present yourself in your tone, your emotional tone, is very important to me. So I'm very much listening to emotional tone. And I also have to be aware of my own, because sometimes I'm not giving the tone that I want to give. And especially when we're frustrated, we find ourselves doing that. But one of the things that was brought to my attention as far as emotional tone is what we determine from that is this person for me or against me? And in our tone, we want to bring people, closer to us, and want to make them open up to us. And so if we're taking a harsh turn, an accusatory tone, uh, just a contemptuous tone or something like that, we're not evoking the response that we want. Like I mentioned previously, we might be getting a reaction to that tone, but we're not getting the response that we want. And the response typically is to bring people closer, to get a better alignment, to have a connection. And so it's very important that we are mindful in having all of our difficult conversations, that we are mindful of the emotional tone that we have, because we want a particular outcome. And that outcome is often not to, draw distance and separation or division, but to bring us closer with a better understanding. So, one of the things that, I'm going to be working on in the coming weeks and months for the rest of my life is emotional tone, and making sure that I find a way to um, convey my emotions without negative emotional tone. It's important, because what I found is it's not received. People are not receptive to it as much. And so I'm here for harmony and receptivity. And so every piece of ownership I can take for us to get to the desired outcome, that's where I am in all aspects of my life, whether it be personal, professional, or anything. So that's what I learned about emotional tone. And then I went on to difficult conversations. And, I think in the difficult conversations, we need to approach it with, again, what do we want to get out of it? Um, and then once we know what we want to get out of it, figure out a way to approach it with the appropriate emotional tone, so that we elicit, again, the responses that we desire. Because, it's not, the difficult conversations are not intended to be arguments. And I think that's where a lot of us, we get confused. Sometimes our difficult conversations are just conversations of things that need to be addressed as we work to improve communication. I know for me, communication is an issue. And so now I'm really entering into the area where I want to express myself. And so now, in wanting to express myself, it's like making sure the timing is good, making sure that, it's not, I'm not expressing myself during an emotional, heightened degree of emotional, uh, pardon, heightened degree of emotions, but expressing myself at the appropriate time, so that I can convey the right message without extreme emotional tones, to get the desired result. And so that's what I've been working on this week, as I've gone through different things, as I work through different processes with clients and so forth. That's what I'm working on. I feel that it's important I see where the breakdowns take place. And I think it's something that we constantly have to be mindful of, continually mindful, because if we lose that mindfulness, we can definitely have some breaks, and that's what we don't want. We want some continuity in our relationships. We want some peace, some harmony, joy in the things that we're involved in. And so, of course, that requires us to have some accountability for how we have our difficult conversations, how what emotional tone we use. And all these can help us as we live our life and maximize our life and try to manifest the things that we want. Like I've said, part of my mantra is I'm trying to create the life that I want. And so, creating the life that I want requires me to look at how I behave, how I respond, and my activities and my behaviors, and if they're conducive to the life that I want. And if they're not conducive to me designing the life that I want, then some things have to fall away. And I have to be conscious and conscientious about those things and making sure that I purge them from my life because it's not conducive to where we're trying to go. So just want to share that with you. We're going to have some difficult conversations. We're going to have them with ourselves and with others. We want to make sure that we use appropriate tone, emotional tone, to elicit the responses that we want so we can move forward. Because this is all about moving forward and getting to the next level and growth and evolution. And so along the way, you're going to discover things that are not uh, should not go to the next level with us. They have to be discarded as we go further. And so that's something that I've learned about myself, something I want to share with you and make sure that we are mindful of this moving forward. So I hope that was insightful for you as it was for me as I did some reflecting on my own personal life. So anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and I will see you again on the next Lovin Sheila.